right. Hello to both of you guys. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart that not only was it a great concept, but it was a great concept the way you guys both executed it. I was very curious when I heard that you guys were doing this, and I was very eager. And when I watched it, I was like, they nailed it. You guys kind of got to the crux of what it's all about. So, Shala, I will start with you since you directed the version that featured all the women. One of the central themes that I saw, or a couple of themes that I witnessed throughout it, was the struggle of not just being black in Hollywood, but being black and female in Hollywood. And a lot of it centered around kind of the frustrations that Halle Berry felt being the first and only woman to ever win Best Actress. Talk a little bit about what you thought going into it, and then what you learned through all these stories throughout the doc.
Ooh, that's a big question. But I do think central because it's like a ceiling.
Mhm.
It is, you know, in sports, you win. When you win, you get bonuses. You do more business. When there's a ceiling in acting and there's only one, that means there's one woman who does that kind of business, right? Your pay scale, pay equity is for real. And I had to figure out a way to tell the story without it being the center of the story. Because I think for these women, they're in their purpose. They love the craft and they have to be in the business, right? But they want to work. And what I hope is you go through the journey of feeling that love, and then you're finally in, and then you're in, and then you look around, you're like, wait a second.
Right.
And then you figure out what you need to do to, I mean, I love what The Rock says, climb to the top of the mountain, create more mountain.
Right, 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 right. So Reggie, over the decades, Hollywood has celebrated, certain archetypes, of black leads, whether it's the noble hero, the action star, the comedic sidekick. How has the industry definition of black men evolved, especially black leading men evolved?
Well, I think it's happening in two different ways. One is for those stars to have black collaborators, right? So they aren't, so the star isn't burdened with, you know, pushing um, creative partners that may or may not know all the nuances and all the possibilities of a black lead character in any particular role. When you say, oh, I have a writer and a director I can work with who get it, and we're all rowing the boat in the same direction, and I don't have to spend my time pushing a rock up a hill. I think that helps a lot. And then secondly, you know, as people become number one on the call sheet, they follow the lead of Sidney Poitier, who did not have that opportunity, but he did push the rock up the hill and said, no, no, no. If he slaps me, I'm gonna slap him back, right? So and that continues to this day of people going, no, this is what I will and won't do in this role.
Right.
And but that's a lot of pressure. Fortunately, as more black films and TV shows get out here, there are at least more examples of authentic black life to pull from.
Got you. Now, Shala, now doing your research and interviews, what was the most surprising or illuminating insight you gained from actresses who navigated this industry?
Well, first of all, I was surprised that questions that seemed obvious to me, just as a human being, had not been asked of them before. Several of them were like, nobody's ever asked me that,
Wow.
right?
Mm,
Which sets
mm.
a different kind of dynamic, right? So, and then to listen to them, right? Each one. And in my mind, I was going to create this giant ensemble conversation. So I am and I want them to be in conversation because of the similarities. So, you had asked about Hallie being the only best actress.
Right.
So when I talked to Taraji and she was like, when we think about that, I was pushing her a follow-up question. You always ask the follow-up question. You're listening about that. Do you have anything else to add? I didn't want to lead her in any which way. And what she asks is a question. So, what are you trying to tell me?
Hmm.
And oh, it just resonates. It's better than any answer. It was the question. So, what is the business? And if you read that, what is the business trying to tell you? And so, I want for people in the business to see this and understand when you hear those critiques, it's love, it's constructive criticism. It's not tear the house down, it's not burn the house down. But know where it's coming from and to put the women in context was critically important.
I got it. Good point. Now, Reggie, when you spoke with many of today's leading men, not like the Denzels or the Morgans, but I'm talking about like the new up and coming brothers, what common thread did you notice in their journeys to the top? And did you express any particular frustrations or hope for the future from these stories?
I have to say I'm very impressed with this next generation
Right.
for several reasons. One is beyond their craft as an actor, their business savvy is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that is really encouraging is they are not scared to have black collaborators in front and behind the camera. You know, they're excited about working with directors they like. And there was an era where the managers, the agent may go, oh, I don't know if you want to work with a black, they would be discouraged. They have no problem with that. No, I want to work with my man. He's a great co-star. He's a super talent. Us together is a bigger film. So that all bodes very well for me looking into the future.
Got it. Got it. Now, Shala, representation is often discussed in terms of visibility, but what about behind the camera? Did the actresses you speak to discuss how the presence or absence of Black female directors and writers affecting their careers?
Oh, they absolutely did, and especially the younger actresses. I mean, Journey, who worked with Casey Lemon, Journey and Megan were both in Eve's Bayou, directed by Casey Lemons, and they were young. And Journey was like, so I was 9 or 10, and it was normal to have a Black woman director and a woman DP, and the breadth of us working on the set. So it never occurred to her that you would have anything different or that it wasn't a possibility. And I just love that. And for as much as we work, more work as we have to do, I, as a Black woman, would not want to live in any other time and period because every opportunity is available in a more free way. Yes, more work to do. But you can't tell me 50 years ago was better.
You cannot. So
Not.
you cannot. It appears that that's my time, unfortunately.
Mm.
We could sit here and have this conversation all day because both of you guys, as filmmakers, I love the work that you guys do. Shala, I'm waiting for my next project from you as well. Reggie keeps churning them out. Um, much
I'm gonna be
success.
faster. It won't be 10 years again.
Yeah, please no, please no. But cannot wait for audiences to get an opportunity to see number one on the call sheet, and continue to success to both of you. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Take care too.
All right.